All right, welcome to the first day of the first season of the Syndicate Competitive League. We are here in the first weekend, and I'm very excited to be here. Before we kick off, we have a few people to thank, a few things to mention. I'm going to start by thanking our CCP help. We've had CCP Fozzie, CCP Bro, CCP Navigator, and CCP Arrow, who have all done a great job really helping us out a lot. CCP Fozzie in particular giving up weekends, CCP Navigator helping out with community, and just generally giving us some promo. CCP Bro on the esports side hooking us up with Twitch TV. And Arrow's been helping us out with some of the graphical interface, so thanks to all those guys. For those of you who've been enjoying the music on the stream also, that was given to us by Pretty Lights Music. We have their website linked on the stream there, and their music is downloadable for free. So props to them for giving us access to that music. And then just thanks to our sponsors, Summer Blink, Monocle Madness, and EveBet. My name is Bacchanalian. I'll be here with Seldrine doing commentary today. And we're going to be kicking off here in just a second. I'll let Seldrine go ahead and start announcing the team.
Yeah, hey, my name's Seldrin. I'd also like to give a quick thanks to Mitani.com, who gave us a fantastic write-up on their fantastic website. Now we'll start by introducing our red team for today, who are Warlords of the Deep. Warlords of the Deep are mainly Hydra plus some friends. And they've turned up today in 3 Mollusk, 1 Saber, 1 Basilisk, and 3 Nighthawks. And they've warped their entire team in at 50 kilometers.
All right, and they are up against, let me make sure I get this name 100% correct, it's Scrumptious Ocular Secretion Collectors, or Tasty Tier Collectors. They have warped in at various ranges. It looks like they have Sleipnir Cyclone, Scimitar Saber, Hawk Mollusk. The Mollusk is warped in at 50, and they're both their Sleipnirs, are at 20. The rest of their team has warped in at 30. So, bans. We should mention bans. The Tiers team has banned Varger and Proteus, and the Warlords team have banned Golem and Widow. Now, just to give you guys a quick rundown on the tournament, it is a double elimination bracket, so a best of 3. So this will be the first of 3 matches between these two teams that we'll be seeing start off today. Point values it's a total of 70 points per team. Point values are posted on our website, so go ahead and check that out if you want to follow, but I will try to keep you updated on points as well.
It looks like today in this first match we're going to have a real kiting team versus a real rush team. We've got strong damping here in the reds from 3 Mollusk, and we've got some long range missiles from the Nighthawks. On the blue team we've got the close range Sleipnir Cyclones, so it'll be interesting to see if the blue team can catch the red team. Also, I'd just like to announce that throughout the weekend we'll be giving 5 billion away in prizes, so stay tuned to the forums, stay tuned to the stream, and if you're lucky you'll win some cool stuff.
All right, well, these teams, looking at where they are set up, they're almost directly opposed, directly across from one another. So you're looking at about 70 kilometers of distance between the red team and the front runners for the blue team, the Sleipnirs. So the Sleipnirs have quite a ways to go to get to those Nighthawks. So it'll be interesting to see where damage goes down first and if they can actually get there in time to start taking chunks. So we have just a couple more minutes. If we have any questions for us in stream chat, feel free to fire them away at us. I'll keep an eye on that for now. But again, I wanted to mention Jester's Trek blog. Ripper Teg gave us a shout out as well. So thanks to him for that. He was one of the ones I forgot in my list of thank yous.
Another interesting point is that both teams have chosen to bring Tech 2 logistics. I'm sure everybody knows that Tech 1 logistics cruisers now are a fantastic ship choice. And in this tournament, a Tech 1 logistics cruiser is 10 points, whereas a Tech 2 is 13. So it'll be interesting to see if those extra 3 points bring in the slightly better Tech 2 logistics cruisers and see how that will affect the match. So also note that the Rush team, the blue team, even though they're close range, they've also chosen to bring a dampening ship. I presume that's to protect the logistics, so that hopefully some of the reduced lock range can stop some of those Nighthawks putting their missiles onto that Scimitar.
It is an interesting choice because the Mollusk only can carry so many damps, and typically speaking, you want to stack probably more than one on a target. So I'm curious to see who he chooses to damp, or if he chooses to split those damps, and how effective that winds up being just for Mollusk. And I imagine the Hawks will be chasing down the enemy Mollusk with the intent of taking out enemy E-War. That's kind of what they would be there for. And then the Saber on both sides, again, probably to protect against that exact eventuality. So.
Yeah, the Hawks is a really good choice for an attack assault frigate. They will waste those Mollusks. The only defense of the Mollises against those Hawks is just to try and kite out of range. But the problem when you kite out of range is you'll be kiting out of the lock range of the Mollis, so they'll no longer be able to put their damps on the enemy logistics. And will the Saber of the Pirate Bay have enough damage to take out those Hawks before he himself is taken down?
Looks like we're about 1 minute into go time. We'll see the 30-second countdown go down in local here shortly. I'll give you updates as that occurs. But right now, let me move my microphone. I'm being told I'm a little quiet. Up to right now, I can tell you, having been in a few of these tournaments, this is probably the most nerve-wracking moment of the entire thing. Of all the lead up to the tournament, the night before, the day of, all the practices, this moment right here where you're sitting on the field, staring at your opponent, going over here with your team. What do we do as soon as they say go?
Yep, been in many tournaments myself, and I can agree it is a stressful moment. You're looking at local, you're looking at your team, you're making sure nobody's doing anything crazy, like moving before the countdown finishes. And you're basically just chilling out. Oh, there we go, that's in local, 30 seconds until the match starts.
So at this point, the FCs will be giving out their instructions to E-War pilots, instructions on who to primary, who's to maneuver in what direction if they're going to be kiting, and we'll just generally see what happens here. 15 seconds. Last minute jitters are hopefully going away for the pilots. They don't want to push any buttons early, although the new interface prevents you from activating modules early, which is useful. In the old days, you could actually accidentally activate a module. And we are go.
Yep, it is on like Donkey Kong. Immediately we see the Hawks burning into range.
There are Valkyries and Warriors out for the Sleipnirs.
Yeah, those Sleipnirs, they're actually heading off quite slow. They're only doing 210 meters a second right now. There's maybe some mixed signals going on here. They're not sure whether to go in closer to try and kite. But it appears the Nighthawks, yep, are burning towards the enemy team, which is very unusual. Wonder if they're assault missile Nighthawks instead of heavy missile Nighthawks.
Well, trying to get a good look in here, but they are definitely burning in. They may well be ham. It looks like ham to me. But we do see the rest of the Warlords team burning to range. So it is a spread setup, and you see the damp effects coming across the field.
Yep, the Sleipnirs and Cyclone of the blue team are spreading out in all directions. It looks like they're kiting around the Nighthawks, so they can come in from behind and get on top of that logistics and E-War frigates.
Indeed, trying to make sure that not all of them get tackled. They can pull around and split off, get around, probably get rid of the Mollises as well. I imagine the Mollises are really causing problems. There's no damage coming down across the field yet, despite there being some drones out. I should mention there are only 5 drones on the field right now. There are 3 Valks and 2 Warriors, which would be the drone bay of Sleipnir, I believe, and nothing else. Now I see some Hornet EC-300s had just been launched. There's some damage coming down on Shenka Sleipnir.
Yeah, but those Hawks right now are right in the mix there. They're right beside that enemy Basilisk. No damage though right now on the red team, just the primary of Sashenka, the Sleipnir on the blue team. He is now into half shields.
And he's only taking some damage from 1 Nighthawk, so those must be ham Nighthawks. He really is getting blown up hard though. We'll see if his ASB kicks in here.
Yeah, he's taking serious damage, and also the Hawk on the blue team of Talana Mercy is taking damage. Pirate Bay of the Saber appears to be on top of him.
And Count Monte Carlo there for a moment did take a bit of damage as well. Pulled it right back. Pirate Bay and the Saber is also... he's taking quite a bit of damage being repped.
Yeah, we have a Nighthawk in Warp Scramble now. He may be a new primary for those Sleipnirs if they can get on top of him. But the Sleipnir is just hanging on there as ancillary booster. And we had the first ship down there. There's another Hawk is going into very low shield. There's multiple targets taking damage now in the blue team. We have 2 Sleipnirs being primaried. They appear to have switched on to Train to Kill now, although Sashenka is still taking damage, and the Hawk of Talana Mercy is in approaching low shields.
It'll be interesting to see what goes on first from these DPS ships. That's going to swing the match one way or another. If a Sleipnir or Nighthawk drops, it'll really change the tone of things here.
Yeah, right now, I mean, we've got 1 Mollis down for each team. That's the 2 kills, and everything appears to be close range in the battlefield now, so really, all those Mollises are not affecting anything right now. When targets are so close, the sensor dampening is ineffective. But the Nighthawk of Heart is about to go into armor.
And the Scimitar for blue team is now about to pop. He's a half structure and he's gone, almost instantly taken off the field.
With that Scimitar down, that it could potentially be a match changer. They will no longer be able to get those reps and those Sleipnirs up. And as we see, Sashenka will be just going into armor as first Hawk dies. The first Hawk for the blue team is down.
getting word from Fozzie that the 2 Maulus deaths were actually boundary violations, so there's a lot of kiting going on right now.
Yeah, kiting is really effective until you kite out of bounds, and then it no longer becomes effective.
So Switch is clinging to hull, clinging 25% hull. We have Heart SP and a Nighthawk as well, also at 3/4 hull clinging. Curious to see which one goes first. I think that'll be the decider right there. 3 DPS ships off on each side.
Yeah, they're just clinging on, and he's down. The Nighthawk is down of Heart SP. Sashanka is gaining shield now. Even without that scimitar, the ancillary rep on that Sleipnir is enough to bring him nearly up to half shields again. And they've switched primary onto the Saber. The Saber is down on the Genus team, which was their main anti-frigate damage. So we still have 1 Saber, 1 Sleipnir, another Sleipnir, and a Cyclone plus a Hawk alive for the blue team.
And the Reds just goes down. It looks like he might have been reloading his ASB there. He just stopped boosting and suddenly was gone. But we are seeing both Nighthawks taking, or sorry, 1 Nighthawk and the Basilisk both taking a good deal of damage right now, so it looks like they're splitting DPS. Train to Kill is getting blown up pretty hard. He's about half shields and dropping. Wait to see his ASB.
The reps appear to have stopped on Train to Kill now. I think he may be out of charges, and when he goes into armor in that Sleipnir, he is just going to explode. Yep, he's dropping rapidly.
And the Saber as well.
Yeah, so all we have now alive on the blue team is a Sleipnir, a Cyclone, and a Hawk. And there's just no chance they have of killing this Basilisk, 2 Nighthawks, and 2 Mauluses.
Yeah, I agree. There's really not much recourse left for the Tears team, sadly, here. It looks like they will be drinking their own tears at this end of this match.
Yep, there'll be lots of tear secretions going on in their comms, I would believe, right now.
Train to Kill's clinging on. He looks like he might be cutting some of the damage here. But,
yeah, or they could be reloading on the Nighthawks as well.
Hey, wake up!
And he looks like his ASB has reloaded. He just pulled back a chunk of his shields and another chunk, so he does have another day to live here, a little bit at least.
Yeah, they appear to have switched targets onto the Cyclone now. He's a lot less shield resistance in the Sleipnir, so they should be able to out-damage the reps on his ancillary. And it will run out of charges, and then he will die. So right now it's just a matter of time. They're just going to work through the tanks on these 2 ships, and it should be over shortly.
Indeed, SEC 7P9 is actually killed off and is following Train to Kill, keeping his damage on him, so it looks like Count Monte Carlo is probably on Big Frank. And they're really not worried about focus firing right now, because they know as soon as those ASBs go into reload, they'll blow both ships up, so...
So I think at the start of the match it was quite interesting. The Nighthawks, even though they were close range, they warped in at 50. Was this a tactic just so they would have more time to think and plan at the start, or was it a tactic to try and lure the enemy team into believing that they were long-range Nighthawks, to throw a spanner in the works?
Yep, it is definitely a mind game you have to play when you warp in, and there's also considerations to keep in mind. I mean, something like Sleipnir is a Mimitar Rush, but they didn't warp in at 0 either. You don't want to come out of warp and find yourself at point-blank range on a Megatron or a Vindicator. It's just really bad news for any of the team, so you have to keep that in mind when you're warping in, is even if you want to be close range, you want to give yourself some room to maneuver. It looks like the Basilisk is actually taking a significant amount of damage for the Warlords team, and he might go down. His ancillary's kicked in, but he's like 1/3 hull here.
Yeah, that's a problem that happened to a lot of teams. You start to win and you start to become complacent, and pilots just think, well, we've won the match, and they make mistakes. And sometimes you can actually lose a match by that complacency. As the Basilisk goes down at the same time as the Cyclone of Big Frank.
Yeah, I don't think that's enough to swing the match around, but it's certainly enough to change the points and how they end up here. Sleipnir now being focused by both Nighthawks. I don't know if his tank will hold for long. He may be able to take the damage until his ASB reloads, but once that happens, it's all over for him. He doesn't have a lot of buffer left.
Oh, he's going down fast, really fast. It appears that he has no charges in his ancillary. And he's just bleeding into the structure, and he is exploding. So all we have left on the blue team now is a Hawk. Hopefully he will not kite, he'll go like a man and go in there, so the match will be over soon.
That's right, flip on that man mode and charge in there to a glorious fiery death.
Yeah, Zimbeek is afraid of no Nighthawks, he's going right in there.
There's some GFs going up in local. Let's see what the official final is. I do think that Hawk will be down shortly. Trying to see time-wise what we've got. Yep, there's still another minute on the clock, so they're going to have to blow the Hawk up here. It looks like they won't have a problem doing that. How they've got on top of him.
Yeah, the Hawk actually appears to have given up, and it was just sitting there doing nothing, and he's down. And that's the end of the first match of the first event of the Syndicate Competitive League. And the winners we have are Warlords of the Deep. And remember that these matches are best of 3, so we've got at least another match later from these two teams.